And that's another one done. Okay. This 3D printer is an absolute beast. So I am going to show you a project that is going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks for Tabletop Time. It's a very big one. A lot of the prints are downstairs. But I wanted to show you what I've been doing just for my own personal pleasure, because it's a little bit over the top, as most of the things I do usually are. And I wanted to shout out this printer. This is the Adventurer 5M Pro by Flashforge. Flashforge were the first ever 3D printer I had, and the last one that they sent me was amazing, and then this one is just a workhorse. It's insane. This video is not sponsored, but they sent me the printer, and I wanted to share that with you. I'm very excited. So I've actually put a link in the description. If you're curious or interested in this printer, you can get $30 off using my link in the description of the Adventurer 5M Pro. And I'll show you what I've been using, or what I've been printing with it. So I've been getting into Crisis Protocol, a tabletop game, and as you can tell, I've gotten a little bit carried away because I've printed an entire city. Oh my god, it just, yeah, there's a lot. And I still have to like piece it all together because I've got all the parts. It's not going to take too much to sort of base coat and paint. Oh, look at this. So we've even got like Doctor Strange's mansion. I know there's a name for it. Don't at me. The Mysterio Fortress. Here he is. Look at that. How good is that? And all of this stuff, like, it'll churn out a couple of these in a day. Easy. And they're just so effortless and detailed. It's really fun. So, Crisis Protocol, for those of you who don't know, is a tabletop miniature game where you play as Marvel characters. So you're Spider-Man and Hulk and Doctor Strange and Iron Man and all of them. And I've been painting them up in my spare time here and there. But part of the game, which is really fun, is you can play with terrain, and the terrain can be thrown. It's really interesting. So then you have characters like every character can throw something. So let's say Spider-Man can throw a lamppost, and it takes a certain amount of strength or whatever. Whereas you can actually throw buildings if your character's strong enough. So the Hulk can throw a building. Spider-Man can throw a car, but the Hulk, maybe not that building, but like, let's say like one of these like portable like shipping container style buildings. And these are all modular. So I haven't put these together yet. So they're not very good examples, but here's a good one. Corvus Games Terrain. This is like a little shop thing. That size building can be picked up and thrown by the Hulk, which I just love. So I wanted enough buildings that I could make like a town and play Crisis Protocol with MJ, who I'm teaching it. He's really having a lot of fun with it. So not only does it feel like you can play in a whole environment that feels like a whole town, but then also a lot of the stuff is interactive and you can throw it. So I'm very, very excited about all that. If you can't tell, by the way, the insert art room, may it rest in peace and come back one day, is currently my 3D printer room. So the Adventurer 5M Pro is going crazy. It's been going crazy on these, but it's going crazy on a new project, which I'll show you in a second. But before I do, I just want to show you two things. The first is, look at my nails. Look at that. Former nail biter right here. Look at that. I'm pretty proud of that. All right. The other thing is, I just realized I forgot to take this off so I can share this moment with you all. Okay, that felt good. All right. The other thing, the other project that I'm really excited about, admittedly a bit more excited about, is Tabletop Time are building a table, a board, for Lucha Vera. Now, we're not actually using the board for Lucha Vera, but they're just sort of making the board ostensively as the showcase of all the buildings that we're making so that we can use the buildings for role-playing Lucha Vera. So we've found these modular sets that, again, everything is sort of can be taken apart. You've got like balconies, you've got like, well, you wouldn't do it like that, but you know, you get the idea, terracotta roofs, all based around sort of Venetian, Italian, slightly Hispanic, slightly Roman sort of architecture. And these are just ones that we've printed very recently. We're going to chuck on a few more, but let me take you down to the work in progress project and try not to disturb people who are working calmly and in silence. Okay. So they're building a tabletop board. The reason we're building the board is it doesn't take all that much more effort to make the board, and they've already made the canals for a video in the past. So you can see all these canals. There's a Venetian boat. And coming soon are all of these. As you can see, the printer has been hard at work already. And this is what they look like with just a base coat of spray paint. Like, how good is that? I imagine it's like a base coat of like black and then a red overall with some of the black in the deepest recesses and then a misting of like a peach.
Nailed it.
Sweet. Yeah, oh, they just look so good. And they're really modular. Hey, Murray, do you want to help me slap these on the board just for shits and giggles?
Yeah, sure.
Do you have like a layout in mind or
Really?
Not
We're
really.
sort of still workshopping it, but it's like modular, so we can change it.
Yeah. They're such cool buildings.
Yeah, no, they're really nice design.
Isn't it? It's so interesting how just the misting of spray paint, like alone, you could come in with a few details or even just like a contrast paint on the terracotta tiles and
Yeah.
that's pretty much done.
Yeah, absolutely.
It looks so good.
It really works with the brickwork, how it just sort of dusts the top rims and
Yeah.
just highlights it.
Oh, that's great. I love it. So very excited for that. I think mostly because we get to use them in the upcoming Lucifera roleplay. And that's the other thing I'm very excited about because that is creeping up. And it feels like the thing that we're all in the studio talking about a lot, even alluding to in content, and hasn't happened yet. But we're doing our first official world introduction video tomorrow night. So hyped. And then we're starting to play, not next week, because Dave and Jen are away on a trip, but the week after we're doing our first episode. But we've got our characters, we're finalising some of the rules for gateway modules and stuff. Just very excited. So I just wanted to share that with you, and I thought I'd give you a little sneak peek of what's coming up soon. Hey, that's a clever idea.
Yeah.
Is that just for the anvil?
Yeah, I'm going to bolt it there.
Nice. How are you going to bolt
Apparently
it?
this is literally what people do.
How do you bolt it?
I'm
you're
going
on the
to pin
sides.
it in place, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Apparently a lot of people
Apparently people use chains. Oh, these
like,
are
literally like lash it down and it stops
these
the
are-
sound a bit.
these are so serious.
Yeah, we'll see how hardcore we get with
I'd probably stick with just the bolts, I reckon.
what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
That's like a in case.
Yeah, love it. So these are my flame resistant tests. If you can't tell, there's a bit of a hefty project on the Jazzy channel coming up. So I'm going to be welding a sculpture. I have done very few videos with welding yet. I have yet to earn being trusted with flame and welding torches and stuff, but hopefully this will be it. What I'm going to be doing is creating the sculpture out of foam because it's the quickest moving, fastest malleable thing I can do it with. But I need a weld on top of it, which of course will melt or burn the foam. So I'm going to wrap my sculpture with tape. So I actually needed to test with different tapes. I've done test welding on top of these. These, as you can see, failed the test. This one was the best performer. And this is actually insulation tape. I came back and did another weld. So I actually went over this one twice. As you can see, it's done much better than the other tape and foam tests. The sculpture doesn't need to stay in perfect form. It just needs to survive and not catch fire long enough for me to then like weld everything around and then take all the foam out of. So I have a really cool sculpture idea because the idea is empty all the stuff out from the inside and turn the sculpture into a fire pit that will light on fire in the video. So very, very dramatic coming up. Other projects that I'm also very excited about. And I just wanted to share all that because I'm very excited. And that 3D printer has been just going non-stop for over a month now. And really like no issues at all. In fact, it has like a recovery setting, which I just used yesterday. It's awesome. Like you can, it literally just goes like if the power cuts out and you come back in, it's like, do you want to recover? You just hit yes and it fixes it all up. So really, really awesome. Definitely shout out. If you're interested in getting a 3D printer, check out the link in the description. Get $30 off of that printer, which we have found really, really good. Okay. Subtle. Okay. I'll wrap up with a question of the day. where they will come from. These are a couple relating to the Gateway video with the vlog where I shared the launch of the Gateway roleplay system. God, I have just do a lot of different random stuff here. Anyway, of Rare 6340 says, wait, what happened to Cogent? Did it just stop being developed? The answer is yes. It wasn't being developed for a long time, mainly because Shad and I's schedules never overlapped, and also just differences in opinion as to where the system should go. But we made it initially to be open source and free and shareable, and we made something that we were proud of for that to be it. But the other thing I've learned, which is another very realistic part of it, is development costs, and making something free does not pay for the cost of developing it. So it was never going to be able to thrive because there was never a chance for it to turn into something that we could build into a business. Gateway, not only can we actively develop it because it's in-house and it's all part of everyone who works here, but we're building it out as a product with the intent for it to be something that can build a business on. So that's another key factor. Yellowhair Trish says, how's Gateway answered some roleplay questions / solved some of your problems or grievances with pre-existing systems? If Gateway was being sold to you, why would you get into it? So that's a really good way of summarizing that question. And I would, for me, and I think it's different for everyone, I have always been a sucker for modularity. Anyone who's followed my content for any time knows that. When I moved studios, it was all about the modular pieces of the studio. My bags that I made are all about like every compartment having a specific use. I still use I just went on that trip away with Kate for the week and took my bigger bag. I take this with me every day. Like, I swear by the stuff I build because the compartments and components that I build them for are really intentional, and I'm always just really happy with that combination. That is how I feel about Gateway Roleplay. I feel like if I wanted to build a world, the compartmentalized system allows me to take a piece out and fill it with my own, or create entirely new pieces to put in there. Or over time, if we create expansions and modules for Gateway Roleplay, anyone could start a world and say, hey, I like these combat bits and that combat bit from that system. Like, you could literally, there's nothing stopping anyone from taking pieces from any of the different modules or systems, pulling it into one, and it would work perfectly. That, I think, is the absolute strongest point of Gateway Roleplay. And that the system itself is built on that the trait skill role system is just universal. So it doesn't matter what different rules you play with, the foundation that's laid on is always the same, which makes it feel really reliable and steady, no matter what you change your play style to, which I think is really cool. That's my answer. Hope that answers it for you. Leave your questions in the Koombly Boobity. Koombly Boobity. Never said that before.